Before I get into today's video, remember to follow me on Twitter. So my Twitter, the link is in the description below. You can also find me. My handle is @JacksonKruger. Come over, say hi, and anyways, back to your regularly scheduled video. Well, if we want to talk about some unlikely heroes, it doesn't get much more unlikely than a guy who was sitting on his couch just a little bit ago, Eric Weddle, who obviously gets called in, ends up having a pretty decent run with them. Like, he looked like he could still play potentially, and really had some key plays, including a key play on the final drive that the Bengals had. It's this one. It's the one you see on your screen, where what's going to happen on this play is it is zone coverage that the Rams are in. It's a cover 3 zone blitz, actually. I thought this was man coverage at first, but no, this is actually zone. And what you're going to see from Eric Weddle is he's in charge of covering that middle area of the field. Basically, he's in charge of covering the NFL logo. Right when this play begins, you're going to see Tyler Boyd get open relatively quickly, so you're going to gain some yards right here. And again, it's first down on this play, so it's not it doesn't feel like it's that important of a play at the time, at least. However, for Eric Weddle, every yard matters, so you're trying to see what you can do here. As you see, Weddle is going to come in, he's going to make this tackle, and they do not pick up the first down on this play. It's 2nd down and 1. So again, at the time, we're kind of all thinking, well, who cares? It's still, the Bengals are certainly still going to get the first down, but as we know, they would not get the first down, and then that was going to be it. So, good stuff from Eric Weddle to, help them get a 2nd down and 1, which would eventually lead to a 3rd and 1, which would eventually lead to a 4th and 1, which would eventually lead to a Rams victory. Also, let's go over here now. I thought he did some good stuff in the running game. I certainly saw him on several plays have a decent impact. This one was maybe one of his better ones. And, listen, he's a guy who's been in the league for a while. And it seems like, he's been out of the league for a minute too. So, he's a smart guy. And it seems like that's really something that Sean McVay values in his players. Guys who can just make smart reads. And that's what's going to happen on this play. It's going to be a running play. And you see that on this play, no Cincinnati Bengal was in charge of blocking a safety. Weddle had kind of started off as though they were kind of showing cover 2, but then he comes in a little bit. So now nobody is intended to block him. So this is kind of a good scheme stuff, but also he's going to take advantage of it. Watch him simply just find a running lane and meet Joe Mixon there and help make that tackle. So good stuff from Weddle. Again, making smart reads, being able to find this stuff. This is the value of going out and getting an Eric Weddle who, might not be in as good of shape as some of these other guys, but at least he's going to make the smart reads. Because, again, not quite in football shape, I would assume, because he hasn't played in forever. But, like, if you went out and you got someone off, someone's practice squad or something, or the next free agent you could sign, well, they're probably not going to have the high football IQ that Weddle has. Like, I thought this was another interesting play. So he's going to be getting blocked by a wide receiver who is currently off screen, but that's what's going to happen here. And as you see, right when this play begins, what you notice is that for Weddle, again, this situation, it's a pretty good run. So this isn't like Weddle making like a star play or anything, but part of what a safety's job is for, if you are Eric Weddle, just limit damage. Don't let something disastrous happen. And that's kind of a lot of what he did, was just kind of limiting damage. And not necessarily making splash plays, but they didn't bring him in there to be an all-pro level safety. They brought him in here to do a job and maybe make the occasional solid play, and that's what he did. Watch how on this play, he's gonna, get ran over, but he makes the tackle. So, maybe you lose a yard compared to what great safety play would be, but what you gained was you knew he was going to be in that situation. You knew he was going to go over there and make that tackle, and kind of makes me wonder a little bit, could you see something like this happen again? Could you see another star player who's been out of the league for a minute go on a playoff run for 3 or 4 games to hopefully win a Super Bowl? Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. That's interesting to me. I would be surprised if it happens, but I think maybe you could see at least some other teams call around for guys like that. And all right, final play I want to talk about. Let's talk about literally the final play. The final play of, okay, we're not talking about the kneel down, but the one before that, the final actual play of the Super Bowl. This is going to be a cover 1 robber, and for Weddle, he's in charge of covering that middle area of the field again. This is kind of where he's at. Now, we've talked about this play to death at this point. We all know about Aaron Donald. We all know about, Joe Burrow, P. Ryan, all of this stuff. But Weddle did a pretty good job on this play as well, I thought. And this is kind of what he consistently did all game, was just like putting himself in the right spot, which is what you're supposed to do in coverage. Look at how right when this play begins, what you're going to see is that, so I've, circled where Weddle is. He's first covering kind of the immediate route over the middle, but at this point, like, that's covered up. He doesn't have to be there. So what should he do? Well, Burrow is looking towards the top of the screen, so he should make sure he gets over there and just has a chance to potentially knock the ball away or deliver a hit, which could knock the ball out. Now, Burrow didn't throw it there anyways, but Weddle, I thought, did do a good job kind of stepping into where Higgins was and being in position where if the ball was thrown there, he could have had a real opportunity to help make that play. So it was still good defense from Weddle, despite it not mattering. So, and again, that's kind of the same thing with the throw over the middle. It didn't end up mattering because Burrow didn't look there, but if he did, Weddle was prepared. So Weddle showed up when he had to, even if it didn't matter. So, yeah, I mean, you got good safety play out of a guy who was retired. That's pretty good. You basically spent no assets on him because, again, there were injuries, which is why he had to come in. And kind of just a crazy story that Eric Weddle was able to perform as well as he did. I was trying to find an example of when has something like this really worked like this before. What are some other examples? And I'm sure someone in the comments will think of something, and if you do, definitely let me know. I mean, I can't really think of any. Like, I can think of times when this has been tried. Like, I remember, the Chiefs signed Darrelle Revis in kind of a similar way, but then, like, Darrelle Revis just was clearly washed up, and it was kind of not a great move. Like, I've never seen something like this where the guy ends up actually, like, performing pretty well and being a pretty good contributor for the team, like Eric Weddle, who is like an awesome player. He's had an awesome career. He doesn't need anything, but I guess he figured, hey, why not, show up for a month of work, get a nice payday, and potentially win a ring? Like, that'd be cool. I'm not sure if he ever realized, like, that's actually what's going to happen, but that is what ended up happening, which is just kind of a baffling thing that happened. So, again, one of the more cool stories of this season is that Eric Weddle goes to a Super Bowl and wins it with the Rams after being retired for how long he was. Just kind of one of those, what makes sports great in a lot of ways. And he had a good impact. He played well in the Super Bowl, I thought. Like, it was the right decision. It wasn't just like Sean McVay doing some quirky stuff and Les Snead doing some quirky stuff. Like, no, they probably did their homework because it clearly worked out. This was a move that made sense, even if it seemed crazy at the time. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know. What were your thoughts on this move? Always love hearing from you, or not on this move, because I know you probably thought it was good if it worked. But what were your thoughts kind of on this whole story? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.